Are you constantly drained, overworked, and feeling like no matter how much you rest, it's never enough? Your sixth house sign holds the key to breaking this cycle and reclaiming your energy. The sixth house in astrology isn't just about work, it's how you structure your day, handle stress, and maintain your well being. And if you're experiencing burnout, chances are your sixth house energy is out of balance. Today, I'm breaking down how each sixth house zodiac sign handles stress, work, and your daily habits, as well as the exact steps to prevent burnout based on your unique energy. So grab your birth chart, locate your sixth house zodiac sign. It may be two different signs if you're using Placidus versus whole sign system, as multiple energies can work together throughout your chart. So be sure to listen to both if you have multiple signs in this house. Let's dive in.
If you have your sixth house in Aries, you approach work and daily routines with intensity, speed, and a let's get it done now mentality. You thrive on challenges, competition, and high energy tasks. But that same fiery drive can also be your downfall when it comes to burnout. Aries is a warrior energy. So when you're stressed, you push through like a soldier in battle, ignoring exhaustion and acting like rest is for the weak. You might overcommit, take on too many projects at once, or feel like you have to be the first, best, or fastest at everything that you do. And while this works for a while, eventually your mind and body will demand a recharge. But instead of recognizing burnout, you get frustrated with yourself for not having enough energy, which only makes the stress worse. The number one reason that having Aries in your sixth house creates burnout is that you treat life like a never-ending competition, even when no one else is competing with you. You push yourself to the absolute limit because slowing down feels like losing. You don't pace yourself, you go all in, full speed ahead until you crash. You get frustrated when things take too long or when others slow you down. Your burnout happens not because you lack energy, but because you spend it all too fast without recharging. When you hit a wall, instead of resting, you tend to double down on work, thinking you just need to power through, ignoring exhaustion until it turns into full-blown burnout. Get irritated with people who tell you to slow down, and use adrenaline and excitement to keep going until you physically can't anymore. Aries energy thrives on movement, but burnout happens when you mistake movement for progress. You don't need to be in constant action to be successful. Some signs that you're reaching a breaking point includes you start feeling restless, impatient, and irritable over minor things. You lose motivation suddenly. Things you used to love now feel frustrating. You experience frequent headaches, muscle tension, or burnout-related inflammation, since Aries rules the head and muscles. You have trouble sleeping. Your mind races, but your body is exhausted. You start snapping at people or feeling easily annoyed by slow coworkers, family, or friends. If you're experiencing any of these signs, it's time to reset your energy before full burnout hits. Now, the first step in overcoming stress and preventing burnout is for you to learn the power of strategic rest. Aries energy naturally burns hot and fast, which means you need intentional rest before burnout, not after. Instead of working at 110% all the time, start using the sprint rest method. Work hard, then take intentional breaks. Set time limits for your energy burst. For example, 90 minutes of focused work, then a 15-minute break. Treat rest as part of your success strategy, not a sign of weakness. Your mantra could be, resting now helps me win later. Next is to turn rest into an active recharge. You may struggle with traditional relaxation because sitting still feels boring. Instead of forcing yourself into stillness, try active rest. Short walks, light workouts, stretching, or movement-based meditation. You can try switching to a different type of work. If you're mentally exhausted, do something physical. Also, journaling or venting your thoughts to release frustration instead of holding it in. Aries in the 6th house needs movement. So instead of resisting rest, make it something that still engages your energy. Next is to stop thinking everything has to be a race. You don't have to win at everything. Not everything is a competition. Remind yourself, taking my time doesn't mean I'm losing. Let go of the need to be the first, the best, or the fastest. Sometimes success comes from pacing yourself. Prioritize progress over speed. The goal isn't just to finish, it's to sustain your energy long term. Next is to protect your energy by saying no more often. You take on too many commitments too fast, then end up overwhelmed. Before saying yes to something new, ask yourself, do I actually want this? Or am I just saying yes out of habit? Will this drain my energy or fuel it? Practice pausing before committing. You don't need to be everything to everyone. The more intentional you are with your energy, the less drained you'll feel. And lastly, use physical activity as a stress release. Because Aries energy is fire-based, you tend to store stress in your body, which can lead to tension, headaches, and frustration. The solution is to move your body in a way that releases stress. If you're angry or overwhelmed, try boxing, running, or high-intensity workouts. If you're mentally drained, go for a short walk or do breath work. Make exercise a daily non-negotiable. Even 5 minutes of movement helps clear your mind. Aries energy needs physical outlets to keep stress from building up and exploding. Your drive is your power, but burnout isn't proof of success. If you keep running on empty, you won't be able to sustain the energy you need to truly thrive. When you work with your natural rhythm, balancing intensity with intentional rest, you'll be able to stay powerful, focused, and energized long term. Let me know how this resonated for you in the comments below, and be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And if this did resonate with you, imagine what's possible when you master your full energy. Check out my monthly membership, the 5D Portal, for exclusive astrology mentorship, manifestation tools, and personal guidance to level up your life. I appreciate you being here, and thanks so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Taurus, you approach work and daily routines with a steady, grounded, and practical mindset. You thrive when your daily life feels stable, predictable, and comfortable. But when things become chaotic, rushed, or unpredictable, stress and burnout creep in fast. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which means you crave pleasure, ease, and a sense of security in your work and routines. However, Taurus is also a fixed sign, meaning you have a tendency to hold on to routines, jobs, or habits long past their expiration date simply because they feel familiar. This resistance to change can lead to burnout creeping up slowly rather than hitting all at once. Instead of a dramatic crash, you gradually feel more tired, uninspired, and unmotivated. But you might ignore these signs because you don't want to disrupt your routine. The number one reason that having Taurus in your sixth house burns out is that you overcommit to routines and responsibilities that drain you because change feels uncomfortable. You stick to the same work habits, schedules, or routines even when they're no longer serving you. You might prioritize financial security over your well-being, pushing through exhaustion just to maintain stability. You may struggle with adapting to new ways of working, which can cause unnecessary stress. Your burnout happens not because you take on too much at once, but because you ignore the slow buildup of stress until it becomes overwhelming. Now, when you start to feel drained, you might try to power through burnout, thinking you just need to stay consistent. You may avoid changing your routine, even when it's no longer working for you. You may overindulge in comfort habits, such as overeating, overspending, or avoiding responsibilities as a coping mechanism. Or you may stay in a toxic work environment because it feels secure. Taurus energy values stability, but sometimes stability turns into stagnation. Your burnout comes from holding on to what's familiar, even when it's draining you. Your burnout doesn't hit you all at once. It builds up gradually. So some signs of this are you feel physically drained and sluggish, even after resting. You lose motivation for work or daily tasks, but keep pushing through. You feel stuck in autopilot, doing the same things every day without excitement. You start using food, shopping, or material comforts to escape stress. Your body feels heavy, tense, or achy, especially in the neck, shoulders, and lower back, since Taurus rules the throat and body tension. If these sound familiar, your sixth house Taurus energy is out of balance, and it's time for a reset. The first step to overcome stress and prevent burnout is for you to recognize when comfort is actually holding you back. Since Taurus craves stability, you might ignore burnout because it feels easier to keep going than to change. Ask yourself, am I actually happy with my daily routine, or am I just comfortable? Be honest about whether your job, habits, or lifestyle still support your well-being. Give yourself permission to make small, gradual changes instead of waiting for burnout to force a big change. Your mantra can be, I deserve stability that supports my well-being, not just my responsibilities. Next is to break up monotony with small, enjoyable changes. Burnout often sneaks up on you because you fall into a boring, repetitive routine that no longer excites you. Introduce small, easy changes to refresh your daily habits. Switch up your morning routine. Try a new coffee spot. Wake up earlier. Add music. Change your workspace. New decor, better lighting, a more comfortable setup. Incorporate pleasure into your day. Beauty rituals, aromatherapy, fresh flowers. These simple adjustments prevent emotional and mental stagnation. Taurus energy loves consistency, but not boredom. Keeping things fresh prevents burnout. Next is to learn to let go of work that no longer fulfills you. You may stay in unfulfilling jobs, training routines, or stressful situations just because they feel secure. But true security comes from peace of mind, not just a paycheck. If a job, project, or routine feels exhausting instead of fulfilling, it's time to reconsider. Start looking for small upgrades. Can you set better boundaries, reduce your workload, or ask for help? Trust that letting go of what drains you opens space for something better. Change doesn't have to be drastic. Small shifts lead to big breakthroughs. Next is to prioritize rest that actually restores you. Taurus loves comfort, but sometimes you confuse numbing yourself with true relaxation. Instead of mindlessly scrolling or binge watching, try activities that truly nourish you. Gentle stretching or yoga to release tension. A warm bath or massage to relax your muscles. Listening to calming music or guided meditation for mental peace. Prioritize quality rest. Your body needs deep, restorative sleep to recharge. Taurus energy thrives on slow, sensory-rich relaxation, not just zoning out. And finally, balance work and pleasure without guilt. You work hard, but sometimes you delay enjoyment because you feel like you have to earn it. Instead of waiting for the right time to enjoy life, integrate pleasure into your routine now. So have a great meal at lunch, not just dinner. Schedule midday walks or breaks to enjoy fresh air. Make work feel luxurious with good lighting, music, and comfortable surroundings. The more pleasure you allow into daily life, the less likely you are to reach burnout. Reframe your mindset to, I don't have to struggle to deserve rest and joy. Your stability should feel nourishing, not draining. Burnout isn't just about exhaustion. It's about feeling stuck, uninspired, and disconnected from what truly makes you feel good. When you honor your need for comfort, beauty, and sustainability while allowing room for growth, your energy will naturally restore itself. Let me know how this resonates for you in the comments below, and of course be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. And if this did hit home for you, imagine what's possible when you master your full energy. Join my 5D Portal membership now for exclusive astrology mentorship, manifestation tools, and personal guidance to level up your life. I appreciate you so much for being here, and thanks so much for watching. If you have your 6th house in Gemini, your approach to work, daily routines, and stress management is fast-paced, mentally stimulating, and constantly changing. You thrive when your days are exciting, filled with variety, and allow you to multitask or explore new ideas. You're naturally curious, adaptable, and love to keep your mind engaged. But this can also be your biggest struggle. Gemini energy is scattered, restless, and easily overstimulated, meaning burnout happens when your brain is overloaded with too much information, too many responsibilities, or too much mental chatter. You might think burnout only happens when you're physically exhausted, but for you, it's more mental and emotional exhaustion. Your brain is constantly processing new information, jumping between tasks, and trying to keep up with everything at once. The number one reason with having your 6th house in Gemini burns out is that you try to do too many things at once and struggle to focus on what truly matters. So you may start multiple projects but struggle to finish them before jumping to the next thing. You may say yes to too many commitments because they all sound interesting. Your mind is constantly on, even when your body is tired. Your burnout isn't always obvious. It can look like procrastination, avoidance, or feeling scattered rather than completely exhausted. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of slowing down, you might distract yourself with even more tasks, ideas, or conversations. You might avoid responsibility by jumping to new projects instead of finishing what's on your plate. You might ignore your body's need for rest because your mind is still active. Or you may scroll endlessly on social media, binge watch, or consume excessive information to escape stress without actually resting. Burnout sneaks up on you because you're still mentally stimulated even when your energy is drained. Because your burnout is mental first, the signs that you're reaching a breaking point may not be so obvious initially. So this can look like you can't focus. Your mind jumps from one thing to another, but nothing sticks. You may start projects, but can't finish them, leaving a trail of half-done work. You may feel mentally restless, but physically exhausted. Your sleep is disrupted. You either have racing thoughts at night or wake up feeling like you didn't rest at all. Or you feel bored and overstimulated at the same time, constantly searching for something to occupy your mind. If these sound like you, your 6th house Gemini energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. The first step in order to overcome stress and prevent burnout is to reduce mental overload by simplifying your focus. Your mind is always jumping ahead, but burnout happens when you don't have a clear focus. Use a simple daily to-do list. Limit it to 3 to 5 key tasks. Group similar tasks together so your brain doesn't have to keep switching gears. Remove unnecessary distractions. Turn off notifications. Set time limits on social media or block out deep focused time. Your mantra can be, I don't need to do everything at once. One thing at a time is enough. Next is to give yourself variety the right way. Gemini energy thrives on variety and stimulation, but if you're not intentional, this can lead to scattered energy. Instead of taking on too many projects at once, rotate tasks to keep things fresh. For example, spend 1 hour on a project, then switch gears to something new. Build variety into your routine. So try different locations for work, switch up your schedule, or add something fun between tasks. Take breaks that engage your mind in a different way, like puzzles, journaling, or short walks. Your brain needs variety, but structured variety prevents burnout. Next is to prioritize rest that calms your mind. Gemini energy is mentally active, so traditional relaxation might feel boring or ineffective. Instead, try rest that engages your brain differently. So, breath work and meditation. Use guided audio to keep your mind engaged. You can also listen to audiobooks or calming music, but choose slower, grounding content instead of fast-paced information, as well as writing or journaling to clear mental clutter before bed. If you struggle with sleep, try brain dumping your thoughts onto paper before bed. Next is to set boundaries around information consumption. You absorb a ton of information daily, but not all of it is useful. Too much stimulation can make your brain feel overloaded, leading to stress and anxiety. Limit the amount of news, social media, or podcasts you consume in a day. Unfollow accounts that overwhelm you. And set no screen times to give your mind space to breathe. Too much mental input creates decision fatigue and stress, even if it doesn't seem obvious. And finally, balance socializing and alone time. You love communication and connection, but burnout can happen when you never give yourself quiet moments to recharge. So balance social time with solo reflection. Not every free moment needs to be filled with conversation. Be mindful of energy draining interactions. Protect your time from people who leave you feeling mentally exhausted. Allow yourself quiet space to process your thoughts, especially before bed. A calm mind leads to better focus, energy, and creativity. Your mind is your greatest strength, but when it's overloaded, it can quickly turn into your biggest source of stress. Learning to manage your energy, reduce mental clutter, and build variety into your life in a structured way will help you to stay sharp, focused, and burnout free. Let me know in the comments how this resonated, and if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe for more. But if you're ready to take this even deeper, join the 5D Portal, my exclusive monthly membership where you can connect with me live, one-on-one for astrological mentorship, manifestation coaching, and personal guidance to help you align with your highest self. Tap the link below. I'd love to see you inside. Thanks so much for being here. If your sixth house is in Cancer, you approach work and daily routines with deep emotional investment, whether that's in your career, home life, or personal projects. You thrive when your work feels meaningful, nurturing, and emotionally fulfilling. However, you don't just work, you emotionally absorb everything happening around you. You tend to take on the stress of your coworkers, family, and friends without even realizing it. Cancer is ruled by the moon, meaning your energy is highly sensitive to the environment, emotional energy, and even the phases of the moon itself. Your burnout doesn't always come from doing too much physically. It often comes from carrying too much emotionally and not having enough personal space to recharge. The number one reason with having your Cancer in the sixth house creates burnout is because you prioritize taking care of others over taking care of yourself. You feel responsible for everyone's emotions, even when it drains you. You may struggle to say no to people who need you, even when you're exhausted. Or you let work, family, or home responsibilities consume your energy, leaving little for yourself. Your burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's emotional depletion from constantly giving without refilling your own cup. Now, the biggest mistake of Cancer in the sixth house makes with stress and burnout is that when you start feeling drained, you might ignore your own needs, assuming you'll rest later once everyone else is okay. You may emotionally eat or indulge in comfort habits to numb stress instead of addressing it. You may stay in toxic or draining work or home situations because you feel emotionally attached. Or you may withdraw completely instead of setting healthy boundaries. Because Cancer energy is deeply emotional and nostalgic, you may also hold on to routines, jobs, or habits that no longer serve you just because they feel familiar or safe. Your burnout is more emotional than physical, and it may show up as feeling emotionally drained or moody even after resting, becoming overly sensitive, reactive, or withdrawn, feeling guilty when you prioritize yourself. Physical symptoms related to stress, such as stomach issues, chest tightness, or water retention. Cancer rules the stomach and fluids in the body. And also craving emotional comfort through food, nostalgia, or isolation. If this sounds like you, your sixth house Cancer energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. The first step in overcoming stress and preventing burnout is to first prioritize your own needs First, without guilt. You naturally care for others, but who is taking care of you? Start checking in with yourself daily before worrying about others. Ask yourself, what do I need emotionally, physically, and mentally today? Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Your mantra can be, I cannot pour from an empty cup. My needs matter too. The next step is to set boundaries without feeling like you're abandoning people. Your empathy makes it hard to say no, but constantly giving leads to exhaustion. Instead of taking on others' emotions, practice emotional detachment, such as, I can support them without carrying their emotions, or helping them doesn't mean sacrificing myself. Set gentle but firm boundaries. Start small if necessary. Boundaries aren't walls, they're guidelines for protecting your energy. Next is to release emotional energy through safe outlets. Cancer energy absorbs emotions like a sponge. If you don't release them, they'll manifest as stress. Try writing down your emotions before bed. Brain dumping helps clear your mind. Use water-based relaxation techniques, such as taking a long bath, swimming, or even drinking herbal tea can calm your energy. And talk to someone who supports you, but make sure there's someone who replenishes your energy, not drains it. Cancer energy needs emotional release to prevent energy buildup. Next is to create a soothing daily routine. Your nervous system craves emotional security. Having a calming, stable daily routine helps regulate stress. Start and end your day with something nurturing, a warm drink, soft music, or gratitude journaling. Keep your workspace or home comforting. Cancer energy thrives in cozy, emotionally safe environments. Use lighting, scents, and sounds to create an atmosphere that soothes you. Reframe your thoughts to, my environment supports my peace. And finally, learn to let go of what no longer feeds your soul. Cancer energy holds onto things for emotional security, but this can keep you stuck in stress patterns. Ask yourself, does this job, habit, or commitment still nourish me? If the answer is no, start transitioning towards something better. Trust that releasing what drains you makes space for new, fulfilling experiences. Emotional attachment to old routines keeps you in burnout cycles. Learning to release allows you to heal. Your sensitivity is your strength, but you can't heal the world if you're running on empty. When you prioritize your own emotional well-being, set boundaries, and create daily habits that replenish you, you'll find balance, energy, and true emotional fulfillment. If this resonated for you, be sure to let me know in the comments. And of course, like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And if this really spoke to you, imagine what's possible when you fully step into your power. Join the 5D Portal, my monthly membership for astrology mentorship, manifestation tools, and personal guidance to elevate your life. Tap the link in the description to get started. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If your 6th house is in Leo, you approach work and daily routines with passion, creativity, and a desire to stand out. You thrive when you feel appreciated, recognized, and excited about what you do. You bring boldness, enthusiasm, and leadership into your daily life, and you do best when your work allows you to express yourself fully. However, Leo energy runs on validation, and when you feel unappreciated, unseen or stuck in a dull routine, stress and burnout start creeping in. You tend to push yourself harder to prove your worth, often putting on a brave face even when you're exhausted. Because Leo rules the heart and life force energy, your burnout doesn't just feel like exhaustion. It feels like a loss of motivation, joy, and personal power. The number one reason your Leo 6th house burns out is that you tie your self-worth to external validation and push yourself too hard to be the best. You feel pressure to always perform at a high level, even when you're tired. You take on more than you should because you don't want to let others down. You work best when you're passionate, but when the excitement fades, you feel lost and unmotivated. Your burnout doesn't just come from working too hard. It comes from feeling like you're not shining or making an impact. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of slowing down, you might push yourself even harder, believing, "I can handle it," until you crash. You may seek validation from others instead of listening to your own needs. You may stay in draining situations because you don't want to disappoint people. Or you may ignore signs of stress because you don't want to appear weak. Leo energy is strong and resilient, but true strength comes from knowing when to rest, not just when to push forward. Since Leo rules the heart and vitality, burnout shows up in ways that affect your motivation, mood, and confidence. So watch for feeling uninspired or disconnected from your passions, or being overly critical of yourself, feeling like you're not doing enough. Watch for low energy despite trying to stay upbeat, or feeling unappreciated or unnoticed in your work or daily life, as well as experiencing tension in your chest, heart palpitations, or inflammation, since Leo rules the heart and circulation. If any of these sound like you, your 6th house Leo energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. To overcome stress and prevent burnout, the first step is to stop relying on external validation for motivation. Your drive to be recognized and appreciated is powerful, but burnout happens when you depend too much on outside approval. Instead of waiting for others to praise you, start acknowledging your own wins daily. Ask yourself, would I still be doing this if no one was watching? Find joy in the process, not just in the outcome or recognition. Your mantra can be, "My value isn't measured by how others see me. It's measured by how I feel about myself." Next is to give yourself permission to rest without feeling lazy. You associate hard work with success, but real success comes from sustainable energy, not constant effort. Schedule luxury rest, such as activities that feel indulgent but also recharge you, such as a spa day, a creative hobby, or just sitting in the sun. Recognize that pausing isn't quitting, it's preparing for your next big move. Take breaks before you crash, not after. Reframe this mindset to, resting doesn't make me weak, it makes me unstoppable. Next is to reignite your passion, because routine kills Leo energy. Leo needs inspiration, creativity, and excitement to function at full power. If your daily life feels dull, burnout will follow. So bring creativity into your work or routine. Add color, music, or something fun. Try something new, a different workout, a passion project, or an adventurous activity. Avoid routines that make you feel like just another worker bee. Your soul needs to shine. Leo thrives on playfulness and excitement. When you enjoy your routine, stress melts away. Next is to stop saying yes just to keep others happy. You love being a source of strength for others, but not every problem is yours to fix. Before saying yes to something, ask yourself, is this truly my responsibility? Practice saying, I'd love to help, but I need to focus on myself right now. Protect your energy like a celebrity protects their time. Not everyone deserves VIP access. The more selective you are with your energy, the brighter you shine. And finally, connect with your inner child for pure joy. Leo is ruled by the sun, which represents playfulness, creativity, and joy. If you're feeling burned out, uninspired, or low energy, it's time to reconnect with the things that made you happy as a child. What did you love doing before stress and responsibilities took over? What hobbies or activities make you lose track of time? How can you add more fun and self-expression into your daily life? When Leo energy is lit up from within, burnout disappears. Your fire is powerful, but it burns out if you push too hard without refueling. You are at your best when you feel inspired, passionate, and free to express yourself. So make space for creativity, joy, and rest. When you learn to honor your own energy, not just the expectations of others, you'll shine brighter than ever. Be sure to let me know how this resonated for you in the comments. And if you found this valuable, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I've got something special for you. Join the 5D portal, your space for live astrology coaching with me, manifestation tools, and personalized guidance to shift your energy and create real transformation. Tap the link below in the description box and step into your next level with me. So grateful for you, and thanks so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Virgo, you approach work and daily routines with precision, discipline, and a deep sense of responsibility. You thrive when your life feels organized, efficient, and productive, and you take pride in doing things the right way. Virgo energy is naturally detail-oriented and service-driven, which means you often take on more than your fair share of responsibilities. You are the problem solver, the fixer, the one who keeps everything running smoothly. But that also means you rarely give yourself permission to slow down and just be. Your burnout doesn't just come from working too hard. It comes from overanalyzing, over-perfecting, and never feeling like you've done enough. The number one reason having your 6th house in Virgo burns out is that you set impossibly high standards for yourself and never feel like you've done enough. You may feel guilty when you take breaks, believing you should always be doing something productive. You may tend to micromanage everything, which makes it hard to delegate or let go of control. Or your mind is just constantly going through checklists, analyzing details, and worrying about things that can go wrong. Your burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's mental overload from trying to make everything perfect all the time. Now, when you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of relaxing, you might push yourself even harder, believing, I just need to get more organized. You may obsess over minor details instead of looking at the bigger picture. You may avoid rest because there's always one more thing to check off your list. Or you may silently resent others for not pulling their weight, but refuse to ask for help. Virgo energy is all about efficiency, but burnout happens when you don't allow yourself the same care and attention you give to your work. Because Virgo rules health and routines, burnout often shows up in physical symptoms first. So this may include tension headaches, digestion issues, or random aches and pains, since Virgo rules the nervous system and the digestive system. You may also feel overwhelmed by small tasks that normally wouldn't bother you, or becoming overly critical of yourself and others, as well as struggling to sleep because your mind won't stop analyzing, or feeling guilty or anxious when you're not being productive. If any of these sound like you, your 6th house Virgo energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. In order to overcome stress and prevent burnout with your Virgo 6th house, the first step is to redefine productivity to include rest and rejuvenation. Your biggest struggle is allowing yourself to rest without guilt. But real productivity requires balance. Instead of thinking rest is a waste of time, reframe it as rest makes me more effective. Schedule intentional downtime the same way you schedule work tasks. Remind yourself that doing things efficiently doesn't mean doing everything all the time. Your mantra can be, taking care of myself is just as important as taking care of my responsibilities. Next is to learn to delegate and accept help. You often feel like it's easier to do things yourself, but this is one of the fastest paths to burnout. Recognize that perfection isn't necessary. Things don't have to be done exactly your way to be done well. Start small. Ask for help with one thing this week. Let go of the belief that you have to do everything alone to prove your worth. The more you delegate, the more you can focus on what truly matters. Next is to stop overanalyzing and let things just be good enough. Virgo energy tends to obsess over details, which can lead to mental fatigue. Ask yourself, will this small detail matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Give yourself a deadline for decision making. Don't get stuck in overthinking mode. Done is better than perfect. Remind yourself that progress matters more than perfection. Your mind gets a break when you stop micromanaging every detail. Next is to create a soothing routine that supports your nervous system. Because Virgo rules the nervous system, stress hits you harder and faster than other signs, so you need a daily reset. Start your day with something calming, such as deep breathing, stretching, tea, or a mindful moment. Avoid information overload in the morning. No checking emails or scrolling social media first thing. And prioritize gut health. Your digestion is directly linked to your stress levels. A calm start to your day reduces mental stress before it builds up. And finally, celebrate progress instead of just focusing on what's left to do. You tend to focus on what still needs fixing rather than appreciating how much you've already done. At the end of the day, write down 3 things you accomplished, even if they were small. Remind yourself that you are not your to-do list. Recognize that your worth isn't tied to how much you produce. You can reframe your mindset with, I am successful even when I slow down. Your work ethic is unmatched, but true balance comes when you give yourself the same level of care and attention that you give to everything else. You don't have to earn rest. You deserve it by just being human. When you release the need for perfection, allow yourself breaks, and recognize your worth beyond productivity, you'll find the peace and sustainability you've been craving. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. And if you love this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. But if you're truly ready to align with your highest self, let's take this journey to the next level. Join the 5D Portal, my monthly membership designed to help you unlock your energy, manifest your desires, and transform your life. Tap the link in the description to join. I'd love to have you inside. Thanks so much for being here. If you have your 6th house in Libra, you approach work and daily routines with the mindset that everything should flow smoothly, feel fair, and look good while doing it. You naturally seek balance, whether it's through collaboration, creating beautiful work environments, or making sure everyone is happy before you move forward. But here's the challenge. Your desire for peace and harmony often puts you in a cycle of overgiving, over-accommodating, and over-committing. You might take on extra responsibilities just to avoid conflict, agree to things you don't want to do, or work extra hours because you don't want to disappoint anyone. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal. After all, you tell yourself, it's just this one time, or I can handle it. But over time, this builds up into exhaustion, resentment, and complete burnout because you've spent all your energy prioritizing others over yourself. The number one reason that having your 6th house in Libra burns out is that it comes from a lack of boundaries and decision fatigue. You may say yes too often and then feel stuck with commitments you never really wanted. You may struggle with making firm decisions, which means stress builds up as you go back and forth trying to make everyone happy. Or you overwork yourself just to maintain harmony, even when it's draining you. The result? You become mentally exhausted, emotionally drained, and physically run down. And ironically, when you're burned out, you can't be fully present for others anyway. So the peace that you're trying to keep starts to crumble. Now, when you do finally recognize you're exhausted, your natural response might be to try to push through the burnout while pretending you're fine, such as, I don't want to let anyone down. Or you might avoid making decisions, hoping things will sort themselves out, such as, maybe if I wait, I won't have to choose. Or you distract yourself with surface level self-care, like shopping or indulging in beauty routines, without actually addressing the deeper issue. The problem is that none of these actually solve the root of your stress, which is the need for stronger boundaries, clear decision-making, and prioritizing your own well-being first. Now, your body and mind will warn you when you're running on empty. So here's what to look for. Feeling constantly fatigued, no matter how much sleep you get. Saying yes to things and immediately regretting it. Getting headaches, digestive issues, or even breakouts due to stress. Feeling resentful towards people that you love because you feel like they're taking too much from you. Or having trouble making even the smallest decisions. You may feel mentally paralyzed. If you've been experiencing these signs, your 6th house Libra energy is out of balance and it's time to reset. Now, the first step to overcome stress and burnout is to set boundaries without guilt because it's not selfish. You might struggle to say no because you don't want to disappoint people, but real balance means protecting your energy first. Instead of feeling pressure to say yes immediately, practice saying, let me check my schedule and get back to you. I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity right now. I can't commit to that, but I can offer this alternative. The more you set boundaries, the more others will respect them, and the less burnout you'll feel. Next is to transform your environment to reduce stress. Libra thrives in beauty and harmony, so use this to your advantage. Make your workspace feel like a sanctuary with colors, scents, and aesthetics that bring you peace. Declutter your space so it reflects a sense of calm instead of chaos. Play soft music or light a candle while working. This reduces stress and keeps your energy flowing. When your surroundings feel balanced, you feel balanced. Next is to prioritize me time just like you prioritize others. You give so much to others, but what about you? Schedule non-negotiable alone time in your daily routine, even if it's just 15 to 30 minutes. Use this time for journaling, meditation, a walk outside, or something creative that feeds your soul. Stop waiting for permission to rest. Self-care isn't earned, it's necessary. When you treat yourself with the same love and care you give others, burnout disappears. Next is to get clear on what you want, not just what others want. A major energy leak for 6th house Libras is trying to accommodate everyone else's expectations. But what about your own? Ask yourself, what do I truly want in my daily routine? Be intentional about building habits that make you happy. Stop agreeing to things that don't align with your vision for a balanced life. The more clarity you have on what you want, the easier it becomes to say no to what drains you. And finally, break free from decision paralysis with the 24-hour rule. 6th house Libras can get stuck in overthinking mode, which leads to stress and procrastination. But here's a simple rule. If a decision won't matter in a year, make that decision within 24 hours. This stops you from wasting energy analyzing every tiny detail. You'll feel lighter, freer, and way less mentally drained. If you're struggling to make a decision, flip a coin. Notice your gut reaction. Did you feel relief or hesitation? That's your real answer. Your peace is worth protecting. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's a sign that you're overextending yourself in ways that aren't sustainable. The more you set boundaries, create beauty in your life, and make decisions based on what's best for you, the more balanced, energized, and unstoppable you'll feel. Be sure to let me know how this resonated for you in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, if this did resonate, imagine what's possible when you master your full energy. Join the 5D portal, which is my membership for exclusive astrology mentorship, manifestation tools, and personal guidance to level up your life. I appreciate you for being here, and thank you so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Scorpio, you approach work, routines, and stress with intensity, focus, and a deep emotional drive. You are all or nothing, either fully committed or completely checked out. When you're passionate about something, you can work non-stop, fueled by your powerful inner wheel. However, Scorpio energy is deeply transformative, meaning you often go through extremes in your energy levels, either hyper-focused and overworking or totally depleted and needing to withdraw. You don't experience burnout in small doses. It hits like a breakdown, forcing you into deep rest and reflection. Your stress doesn't just come from overworking. It comes from holding on to emotional baggage, suppressing your feelings, and carrying more than you should. The number one reason with having your 6th house in Scorpio burns out is because you internalize stress, power through exhaustion, and refuse to let others see your struggles. You take on too much emotional and mental weight, leading to deep exhaustion. You might work obsessively until you burn out, then retreat to recharge alone. You may resist asking for help or delegating because you don't trust others to handle things the way you do. your burnout isn't just physical or mental. It's soul deep because you push yourself to the limit before realizing you need to stop. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of taking a break, you might suppress your emotions, thinking you can power through. You may detach from people completely, going into isolation. You may self-destruct by engaging in extreme behaviors, such as overworking, overindulging, or withdrawing entirely. Or you may use intensity or crisis to fuel you, unknowingly creating more stress. Scorpio thrives in transformation, but burnout happens when you ignore the warning signs and wait for a breakdown to force a reset. Because Scorpio energy is deep and psychological, burnout affects you on an emotional, mental, and physical level. So this can show up as feeling emotionally numb or detached from everything, becoming obsessive over work, details, or one specific problem. Extreme exhaustion, followed by periods of isolation. Intense mood swings, going from deep focus to total withdrawal. Or physical symptoms like migraines, body tension, or digestive issues, since Scorpio rules the reproductive and elimination system. If this sounds like you, your 6th house Scorpio energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. In order to overcome stress and prevent burnout with your Scorpio 6th house, the first step is to stop waiting for a crisis to reset your energy. Your transformative nature means you often ignore stress until it becomes unbearable. But healing doesn't have to come from breaking down first. Schedule time to recharge before burnout hits. Allow small, intentional breaks instead of extreme swings between overworking and isolation. Recognize that preventative care is just as powerful as deep healing. You can shift your mindset to, I honor my energy before I reach my breaking point. Next is to release suppressed emotions before they build up. Scorpio holds onto deep emotions, which can turn into stress, tension, and even illness if not released. Use journaling, therapy, or deep conversations to process your thoughts. Engage in shadow work, exploring your hidden fears and emotional wounds instead of avoiding them. Allow yourself to express vulnerability. It's not a weakness, it's strength. Emotional release prevents stress from manifesting in destructive ways. Next is to create rituals that help you detox your energy. Scorpio absorbs the energy of everything around it, making energetic cleansing essential. So try water therapy. Take cleansing showers, baths, or go swimming to release stored tension. You can also implement meditation and breath work, which helps to clear emotional and mental clutter, as well as a physical detox. Eat clean, move your body, and eliminate toxins that weigh you down. Reframe your mindset to, cleansing my energy allows me to regenerate stronger. Next is to learn to trust and delegate instead of doing it all alone. You tend to hold on to control, believing no one else can handle things as well as you. But this only creates more stress. So identify one task or responsibility you can let go of. Ask for help without feeling like you're losing power. And trust that you don't have to do everything alone. Letting go of control frees up energy for what truly matters. And finally, find a creative and physical outlet to process your depth. Your intensity needs a channel. Without it, stress builds up and explodes. Try creative expression. Writing, painting, or even music can help externalize deep emotions, as well as physical movement. Boxing, weightlifting, or intense workouts help release emotional and physical tension, as well as spiritual practices such as tarot, astrology, or ritual work help you feel connected to something bigger. Scorpio energy needs depth, transformation, and intensity in a healthy way. Your power is your depth, but burnout happens when you carry too much alone and refuse to release the weight you're holding. You don't have to self-destruct to transform. Healing can come from small, daily moments of self-care, emotional release, and trusting in the process. When you learn to manage your energy before a crisis hits, you'll unlock true sustainability, strength, and renewal. I'd love to hear how this resonated for you, so drop a comment below. And if you haven't already, like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. But why stop there? Join the 5D Portal, my exclusive membership where we go even deeper into astrology, manifestation, and energy mastery. Let's unlock your full potential together. Tap the link below to join. Sending you so much gratitude and love. Thanks so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Sagittarius, you approach work, routines, and stress with a free-spirited, adventurous, and spontaneous attitude. You thrive when you have variety, movement, and a sense of purpose in your daily life. Routine? That word alone can make you feel trapped. Sagittarius energy loves freedom, so when your daily life becomes too structured, repetitive, or restrictive, stress and burnout creep in. You may resist schedules, avoid rigid commitments, and prioritize excitement over rest. But this can lead to chaotic energy levels and a burnout cycle that feels like a crash and restart pattern. Your stress doesn't just come from overworking. It comes from feeling stuck, uninspired, or disconnected from personal growth and adventure. The number one reason Sagittarius 6th house burns out is that you resist structure until chaos forces you to slow down. You crave spontaneity, so you might overcommit to too many things at once. You may say yes to exciting opportunities, but struggle with follow-through. Or you may avoid strict schedules or disciplined habits, which can lead to feeling overwhelmed when responsibilities pile up. Your burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's a deep frustration with feeling confined by routines that lack meaning or adventure. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of slowing down, you might run away from responsibility, avoiding tasks until they become urgent. You may overindulge in escapism, travel, entertainment, or distractions to avoid stress. You may push yourself too hard when you're feeling inspired, leading to energy crashes. Or you try to force excitement into a draining routine instead of adjusting it to better suit you. Sagittarius thrives on expansion, but burnout happens when you overextend yourself without balance or sustainability. Burnout for you doesn't always look like low energy. It often looks like losing excitement and feeling stuck. So this may show up as you feeling restless, unmotivated, and trapped in routine. Losing passion for things that once excited you. Avoiding responsibility until they feel overwhelming. Experiencing brain fog, exhaustion, or physical tension from overdoing things. Or feeling disconnected from your purpose or sense of adventure. If these sound like you, your 6th house Sagittarius energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. The first step to overcome stress and prevent burnout for your Sagittarius 6th house is to first find freedom within structure instead of rejecting it completely. You thrive when your daily life has flexibility, but complete lack of structure leads to chaos and stress. Instead of rigid routines, create structured freedom, loose plans that allow for flexibility. Use block scheduling instead of strict time slots. Morning, creative work. Afternoon, meetings and errands. Schedule free time intentionally so you don't feel trapped by work or responsibilities. Your mantra could be, structure supports my freedom, not limits it. Next is to reconnect with purpose to stay motivated. Burnout often happens when you don't feel connected to the bigger meaning behind your daily work. So ask yourself, how does my daily routine support my long-term vision? Infuse learning, personal growth, or adventure into your daily life. New books, classes, or experiences. If your work feels uninspiring, find small ways to make it more exciting, such as new environments, fresh perspectives, or side projects. Sagittarius needs meaning and expansion to stay engaged. Next is to avoid the cycle of overcommitting and ghosting responsibilities. Your excitement for new things can lead to taking on too much at once, which results in burnout. Before saying yes, ask yourself, will I still be excited about this in 3 weeks? Set realistic expectations for yourself. Commit to what truly aligns with your energy levels. Create a balance between adventure and consistency so you don't have extreme highs and lows. You can reframe this to, I choose commitments that sustain me, not just excite me. Next is to make movement and travel a part of your routine. Sagittarius energy thrives on exploration, movement, and variety, so use this to your advantage. Change your work environment. Work from different locations. Take walking meetings, or switch up your surroundings. Prioritize daily movement, whether it's stretching, outdoor walks, or a fun workout. Plan mini adventures, even if it's just a weekend trip or a new restaurant, just to keep your life exciting. Physical movement refreshes your energy and prevents stagnation. And finally, balance spontaneity with grounding rituals. You resist routine, but having small, grounded rituals can help you stay balanced and focused. Start your day with something grounding, such as meditation, journaling, or mindful breathing. End your day with a short reflection on what went well and what can improve. Use affirmations or visualization to keep your energy aligned with your bigger vision. Small rituals help anchor your energy without making you feel stuck. Your freedom is your strength, but burnout happens when you reject all structure and let life become chaotic. When you create flexible routines, connect with meaning, and balance spontaneity with grounding practices, you'll feel energized, inspired, and unstoppable. The key isn't to eliminate routine. It's to make your daily life feel like an adventure that you actually want to be part of. If this resonated, be sure to let me know in the comments, and of course, like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And if this really spoke to you, imagine what's possible when you fully step into your power. Join the 5D Portal, my monthly membership for astrology mentorship, manifestation tools, and personal guidance to elevate your life. Tap the link in the description to get started. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If your 6th house is in Capricorn, you approach work, daily routines, and stress with discipline, structure, and a long-term mindset. You thrive when your life feels productive, goal-oriented, and stable. Work isn't just a part of your life. It's often the foundation of your sense of purpose. However, Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn, the planet of responsibility and perseverance. This means you have a high tolerance for pressure, but also a tendency to ignore stress and keep pushing through even when you're exhausted. Your stress doesn't just come from working too much. It comes from feeling like you can never slow down because there's always more to achieve. The number one reason Capricorn 6th house burns out is that you overwork yourself out of fear of falling behind or being seen as unproductive. You feel a constant pressure to succeed, even at the cost of your well-being. You associate rest with laziness, so you push yourself harder instead of taking breaks. Or you may take on too much responsibility because you believe, if I don't do it, no one else will. Your burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's emotional depletion from carrying too much for too long. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of slowing down, you might tell yourself you just need to work harder to get through it. Or you dismiss exhaustion as weakness, refusing to acknowledge when you need rest. Or you hyper-focus on long-term goals and ignore your body's short-term needs. Or you may neglect joy and relaxation, believing they're distractions from success. Capricorn energy is built for endurance, but burnout happens when you mistake overworking for productivity. Now, because Capricorn rules the bones, joints, and nervous system, burnout often shows up in physical and emotional rigidity. So this may come as chronic fatigue that doesn't go away even with sleep, feeling emotionally disconnected or unfulfilled despite working hard, body tension, back pain, or joint stiffness from stress buildup, irritability or frustration when things don't go according to plan, or feeling like no matter how much you do, it's never enough. If this sounds like you, your 6th house Capricorn energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. The first way to overcome stress and prevent burnout with this Capricorn 6th house placement is to redefine success to include rest and well-being. You push yourself because you equate achievement with self-worth, but true success includes health and longevity. Instead of thinking, I'll rest when I reach my goal, reframe it as, rest helps me reach my goal faster. Recognize that long-term success requires balance, not just hard work. Start seeing breaks as investments in your future productivity. You can reframe this as, sustainability is success. My well-being is just as important as my goals. Next is to stop taking on more than you can handle. You feel a strong sense of duty, but you don't have to do everything yourself. Ask for help or delegate tasks instead of assuming you have to handle it all. Set boundaries with work and responsibilities. You don't need to be available 24/7. Learn to say no to things that drain your energy without guilt. The more you protect your time, the more energy you have for what truly matters. Next is to make time for joy, not just productivity. Capricorn energy thrives on discipline and routine, but burnout happens when you neglect pleasure and play. Schedule intentional time for relaxation, creativity, or socializing. Engage in hobbies that have no pressure to be useful, just enjoyable. Remember that life isn't just about achievements, it's about fulfillment. So reframe this mindset as, joy is not a waste of time. It recharges me for success. Next is to listen to your body before it forces you to stop. Capricorn energy is tough, but your body will send signals when it needs rest. Listen to them. Incorporate gentle movement, stretching, or body care into your daily routine. Prioritize quality sleep instead of sacrificing rest for work. Check in with yourself daily. Am I working hard and taking care of myself? Preventing burnout before it happens is the key to long-term success. And finally, shift from all work to sustainable success. You're here for the long game, which means you need a routine that doesn't drain you. Balance work, rest, and play. Your energy is a resource that needs managing. Recognize that you don't have to prove your worth through work. You are valuable just by being you. Trust that slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means staying in the race longer. Capricorn thrives on long-term planning, so use that mindset to build a sustainable lifestyle. Your discipline is your strength, but burnout happens when you push too hard without recharging. When you embrace balance, rest, and joy as part of success, you'll not only achieve your goals, you'll sustain them without exhaustion. Your mission isn't just to work hard. It's to build a life that's fulfilling, sustainable, and worth living. Let me know how this resonated for you in the comments. And if you found this valuable, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I've got something special for you. Join the 5D portal, your space for live astrology coaching with me, manifestation tools, and personalized guidance to shift your energy and create real transformation. Tap the link below and step into your next level. I'm so grateful for you, and thanks so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Aquarius, you approach work, daily routines, and stress with innovation, independence, and a need for mental stimulation. You thrive when your day feels unique, unconventional, and aligned with a bigger purpose. Routine for routine's sake just doesn't cut it for you. You need freedom and flexibility in how you structure your day, and you work best when you're engaged in something progressive, creative, or intellectually stimulating. However, when life becomes too predictable, restrictive, or uninspiring, stress and burnout set in fast. Your burnout doesn't always come from overworking. It comes from feeling stuck, disconnected from meaning, or forced into routines that don't fit your natural rhythm. The number one reason Aquarius' 6th house burns out is that you resist structure until chaos forces you to reset. You thrive on unconventional routines, but too much randomness can leave you feeling scattered and unfocused. You avoid strict discipline, leading to cycles of high energy bursts followed by total crashes. You crave mental stimulation, but when you're overwhelmed, you detach and disengage instead of dealing with stress directly. Your burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's mental and emotional fatigue from lack of alignment with your authentic rhythm. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of slowing down, you might detach from responsibilities and shut down emotionally. You may distract yourself with new ideas instead of finishing what's already on your plate. You may rebel against structure only to realize you need some level of routine. Or you may isolate yourself, feeling misunderstood by those around you. Aquarius energy loves change, but burnout happens when you fail to create stability within that change. Because Aquarius rules the nervous system and mental processing, burnout often feels like mental and emotional exhaustion rather than physical tiredness. So this may show up as feeling mentally overstimulated but physically drained, struggling to focus, jumping between tasks without finishing anything, emotionally disconnected from people, feeling isolated or misunderstood, random burst of energy followed by extreme crashes, or experiencing nervous tension, headaches, or sleep disturbances. If any of these sound like you, your sixth house Aquarius energy is out of balance and it's time for a reset. To overcome stress and prevent burnout with your Aquarius sixth house energy, the first step is to find a balance between freedom and stability. You need flexibility in your daily life, but total lack of structure leads to burnout. Instead of rigid schedules, create fluid structure, a routine with built-in flexibility. Work in energy cycles, so deep focus in the morning, creative play in the afternoon. Allow yourself the freedom to experiment with routines until you find what works. Your mantra could be, structure supports my creativity. It doesn't restrict it. Next is to avoid the escape trap. Follow through on what matters. You love big ideas, but burnout happens when you jump from one thing to another without follow through. Instead of starting multiple projects at once, focus on one meaningful goal at a time. Break projects into small, manageable steps so they don't feel overwhelming. Set accountability measures, such as mentors, deadlines, or progress trackers, to stay consistent. You can reframe your mindset with, freedom comes from progress, not avoidance. Next is to protect your mental energy from overstimulation. Aquarius energy is mentally fast-paced, but too much stimulation can lead to burnout. So limit social media scrolling, excessive news, or information overload. Create intentional quiet time in your day, such as meditation, nature walks, or journaling. Practice mental detoxing by clearing unnecessary thoughts before bed. Less mental clutter equals more creative energy. Next is to maintain social connections instead of isolating. When overwhelmed, you tend to detach emotionally, but true restoration comes from connection. So check in with friends or mentors. You don't have to go through stress alone. Seek out like-minded people who understand your need for freedom and innovation. Engage in community or humanitarian efforts. Helping others reignites your passion. Your energy thrives when you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. And finally, align your daily routine with your bigger purpose. You need meaning in your work, or burnout will hit quickly. So ask yourself, does my daily life reflect what I truly care about? Integrate activities that inspire you, whether it's creative projects, learning, or activism. If your current job or routine feels meaningless, start making small shifts towards something that excites you. When your work aligns with your soul, burnout disappears. Your brilliance comes from your ability to think differently, but burnout happens when you resist structure, overstimulate your mind, or disconnect from what truly matters. When you find balance between freedom and stability, protect your mental energy, and align your work with your greater purpose, you'll feel recharged, inspired, and unstoppable. I'd love to hear how this resonated for you, so be sure to drop a comment below. And if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who can also benefit from this information. And be sure to join my email list. And for an even more personal healing journey, check out my membership where we go even deeper into astrology, manifestation, and self-mastery. The link is below in the description box. Thanks so much for watching. If your 6th house is in Pisces, you approach work, daily routines, and stress with fluidity, intuition, and an emotional connection to what you do. You thrive when your day feels inspired, creative, and free-flowing rather than rigidly structured. However, Pisces energy is deeply sensitive, meaning you can absorb the stress, emotions, and energy of those around you, sometimes without realizing it. You may also struggle with boundaries, procrastination, or feeling lost in daily responsibilities, leading to a gradual buildup of stress and burnout. Your burnout doesn't always come from overworking. It often comes from emotional exhaustion, lack of structure, and feeling disconnected from your spiritual or creative side. The number one reason Pisces in the 6th house burns out is that you absorb too much energy from others and lack the structure to protect your own. You take on other people's emotions, stress, and problems as if they were your own. You may struggle with creating strong boundaries, making it easy for people to drain you. You may avoid strict routines, but without some structure, life can feel chaotic or overwhelming. Your burnout isn't just physical or mental exhaustion. It's spiritual depletion from carrying too much without a way to reset. When you start feeling overwhelmed, instead of addressing it, you might ignore responsibilities until they pile up and become unmanageable. Escape into fantasy, avoidance, or unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as binge watching TV, sleeping too much, or numbing your emotions. You may lose track of time, forgetting important deadlines or personal needs, as well as overextending yourself for others and neglecting your own well-being. Pisces in the 6th house needs flow, but burnout happens when you drift without grounding. Because Pisces rules the subconscious, emotions, and intuition, burnout often shows up as emotional overwhelm, escapism, or a loss of motivation. So be on the lookout of feeling drained and exhausted for no clear reason, struggling with brain fog, forgetfulness, or trouble focusing, feeling emotionally overwhelmed but unable to express why, escaping into distractions instead of addressing stress, or physical symptoms like fatigue, sleep disturbances, or body tension. If this sounds like you, your 6th house Pisces energy is out of balance, and it's time for a reset. To overcome stress and prevent burnout with your Pisces 6th house, the first step is to create gentle structure to support your energy. You thrive in flow, but too much freedom can lead to feeling lost and overwhelmed. Use soft structure, flexible routines that give you guidance without feeling restrictive. Set gentle reminders or alarms to keep track of time and responsibilities. Designate specific times for work, rest, and creativity so you don't drift aimlessly. Your mantra could be, "Structure helps me flow with ease, not feel trapped." Next is to protect your energy from emotional overload. Because you absorb energy so easily, you need daily practices to cleanse and protect yourself. Start your day with a grounding ritual, deep breathing, meditation, or a protective affirmation. Set energetic boundaries before engaging with draining people or tasks. Take breaks alone to reset your energy, especially after social interactions. Clear energy equals clear mind and emotions. Next is to avoid escape mode. Face stress with small, manageable steps. Pisces energy can easily drift into avoidance, but small actions help prevent overwhelm. When you feel stressed, write down just one thing you can do today to regain control. Break tasks into tiny steps so they feel easier to tackle. If you feel like avoiding something, ask, what's the smallest action I can take right now? You can reframe your mindset to, I don't have to do it all at once. One small step is enough. Next is to reconnect with your creative and spiritual side. Pisces energy needs inspiration and deeper meaning to feel fulfilled. Without it, burnout sets in quickly. Set aside time for music, art, poetry, or any form of creative self-expression. Engage in spiritual practices such as meditation, tarot, or nature walks to reset your soul. Spend time daydreaming, but with purpose. Visualize the life you want to create. When your soul is nourished, your energy is replenished. And finally, because Pisces energy is so receptive, deep rest is essential for preventing burnout. Create a nighttime wind down routine to help your mind relax before bed. Use water-based relaxation techniques such as baths, swimming, or even drinking herbal tea. Allow yourself quiet moments of solitude without screens or distractions. Quality rest makes everything else flow more easily. Your sensitivity is your gift, but burnout happens when you take on too much, avoid responsibilities, or disconnect from your true needs. When you create gentle structure, protect your energy, and make space for creativity and rest, you'll feel recharged, inspired, and aligned with your highest self. I'd love to hear how this resonated for you, so be sure to let me know in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And for an even more personal healing journey, check out my membership where we go even deeper into astrology, manifestation, and self-mastery. The link is below in the description box. Thanks so much for watching.